How's it going, guys? Welcome to Grind to Freedom, and here's why you need to buy Bitcoin. So, by the way, if you haven't checked my last video, is my explanation as to why I save in Bitcoin. So right now, I'm looking at the live price of Bitcoin. I don't know if it's gonna look well here, but I don't know if it's backwards. On my end, it looks backwards. I hope that on your end you can see it. But it basically says we're at 109,000 BTC, Satoshis, dollars. So we are 109,000 right now as I'm filming this. When you're watching it, it might be more, it might be less. Who knows? Only you know. But just to say, back in April, so literally a month ago, the price was under 75K. So it was about 74,000 something. And right now, it's at 109, which means if you would have bought then and would have held till now, you would have been at least up plus 40%, about 45.7%, something like that. But like you'll be up 40%. Tell me, tell me what savings account gives you that amount of return? Tell me what checking account gives you that amount of return? Tell me what stock gives you that amount of return? Tell me what house gives you that amount of return in just that short period of time. Of course, within time, there's certain things that can give you that amount of time and things like that. But like when it comes to like the short period of time that has passed from April to where I'm uploading, shooting this video, it's been very little, and you could have gotten a 40% return. So that's why I emphasize for you to consider that to get Bitcoin, because like the dollars are gonna get printed every day. Every day, dollars are getting printed. You know what I'm saying? And that's causing to devalue the dollar. Uh, if you live in, an expensive state or you've been living paycheck to paycheck, you can see based on your spending habits and how things are priced in around you, how expensive things are. Not only that, but things are going to get more expensive. It's just the cyclical nature of life. As money gets devalued, more is going to get put into the system, and things are going to be more expensive. Now, with trade wars and things going on, on the geopolitical aspects of things, it's going to make it even more difficult. And at the end of the day, the people that are paying for that are the consumers, are the people that are lower and middle class. The upper class, they can keep they already know that their money is going to make more money. They're already stacking assets because they know their assets are going to produce cash, and with that cash from their cash producing assets, they're going to deploy it into either more assets that are going to deploy more cash for them, are going to work for them, or they're going to use it to fund their lifestyle. That's the secret. So if you want to essentially achieve the most things that you want to achieve in your life, you have to invest in cash producing assets. I've literally spent thousands, and I mean thousands of dollars to go to business conferences all over the United States and sometimes outside the United States to get information from like the wealthy, from like people that are crushing it. Some people you might not even know their names. Some people are quite famous in the speaking world and all those things, right? So, I'm talking about like Eric Thomas, Gary Vaynerchuk, like all these people that some of you might know, some of you might not know. And then there's some other people that, they're not really public figures, but they're, amass quite some wealth. And at the end of the day, what they told me, the biggest secret is cash producing assets. that will fund that lifestyle. Then they do extra things, to hide it and to do whatever. But in the long run, it's cash producing assets that are funding their lifestyle. They're funding their cars, their houses, their trips, whatever it is that they want. In order to get there, if you're a person that you're lower class or lower middle class or even upper middle class living paycheck to paycheck, in order to do that, you need to make a sacrifice. And that is, what percentage are you willing to invest? What percentage are you willing to pay your future self in order to be financially free in the future, in order to be retired in the future? In order to do that, you need to invest in assets that are going to give you the return you need. If inflation is hitting you at 20% year over year, do you think that an 8 to 10% return from the stock market is going to save you when you're already 20% underwater? You have to see what it is that benefits you the most. In my personal opinion, I haven't seen. And you can look at the history books, you can look at data from years upon years on end. I haven't seen a specific asset that has grown as fast as Bitcoin has. And the thing about it is that you might see the price and you might be, oh, but it's super high. I don't have $100,000 to buy a Bitcoin. You don't need to. You can buy a fraction of it. You can buy Satoshis that eventually will give you a piece of it. Because there's going to be a point. I honestly haven't made the math myself. So I don't know if it will happen within my lifetime or within my kids' lifetime. But it's going to happen where the supply of Bitcoin is going to be capped completely. Because there's only in circulation. There's only going to be so many. And the price is going to be astronomical because the people that possess that will know and already know the intrinsic value of it, that they won't sell. They won't sell. They might borrow against it. They might do other things. They might use a 4% rule or 8% rule, with it to live their life. But they're not going to sell it because they know what's in the horizon. They know what's in the future. And I encourage you to do your own research. I encourage you, I'll put links below of ways that you can research more about it, that you can educate yourself further on why this is a great opportunity in your life. And like why also you're not late. You're not late at all. There's moments in time that like opportunity gets presented to you at different phases in your life. Back in the day, like the first time I heard of Bitcoin was back in, we're talking 2015, 16. We're talking like over a decade ago, over 10 years ago. And one of my homies was talking about it a lot. He was talking a lot about Bitcoin and stuff. And at the time, my mind was not open enough to even understand, comprehend this concept. Why? Because I was stuck into life things, just regular day-to-day stuff. Me keeping up with my bills, me living a very expensive life in California. Like a lot of things were just conquering my mind at the time. And now that I've been searching and searching and searching for opportunities, where can I deploy my money that will give me my highest return in the future? And by the future, I'm not thinking 10 years from now. I'm thinking 15, 20, 30 years from now. And I really believe wholeheartedly that one of the biggest opportunities, not the biggest opportunity of our lifetime right now, is this Bitcoin thing. So if you haven't checked out already, check out my last video that I mentioned why I save in Bitcoin, check out the resources I'll put in the description below so you can get more educated about the information, not just from me, but from other people that are renowned experts and know more about the subject than I do. But it's incredibly important for you to not only get educated about this, but to actually take action. Because the more time you waste just researching and getting all the information before you actually invest, it could bring opportunity costs. And just saying that you could buy at a higher price, where you could buy at this price right now. But also, you could buy at a lower price. Who knows? But all I know is Bitcoin's gonna pop off even further. And the more time that you spend contemplating the opportunity, the more it's costing you the opportunity and your future self to be wealthy in the very near future. Anyways, if you like this type of content, don't forget to like the video, share with a friend or two that might do more than you do, and subscribe. Here on Grind to Freedom, we're here very zoned in and very focused on helping you grind towards your freedom. And that's all we want right here. If you rock that boat, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified every single time we have a brand new video. Uh, and check out this video. This is why, this is the reason, full explanation of why I save in Bitcoin. Check it out.